explainhelp.co.uk. Hi and welcome to another explainhelp.co.uk video. In this video we are going to do a cold and dark start on the Carenado Cessna Skyhawk C172. This cold and dark start does not include setting up the FMC, it's just simply to start the aircraft to allow you to taxi. So what we're going to do first of all, before you start an aircraft, you need to make sure that all systems are turned off. So down here, this is a magneto switch that needs to be set to off. Master alternator, master battery are set off. Master avionics plus 1 and 2 off. All lights are turned off. Down here, your mixture and throttle switches all turned off. And down here, everything all good. So with all that done, let's get on and start the aircraft. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to start the master battery. Click on the master battery, this one here, and the master battery and master alternator, and then over here the avionics bus 1 and avionics bus 2. That gives you these two screens here. Down here is the fuel pump over here, and the pitot heat as well down here. One thing as well you need to do is you need to make sure that the fuel pump is set to both by turning the lever to the middle. Okay, so before we start we need to turn the anti-collision beacon on, the strobe on, and the navigation lights on. Once we're happy that we've done all that, what we're then going to do next is go down to the mixture, and we're going to push the mixture in like that. And then what we're going to do is we're then going to start the engine. There we are. The engine's now started. Sounds good. And there we are. So just to recap on what we did. First thing we did on the cold and dark start was we went down to here and we made sure that all systems were turned off. Up here to the master battery and master alternator, make sure that was turned off. Avionics turned off. Over here, mixture and throttle both set to off. For it to be set to off, they both need to be pulled right out. But one thing we didn't do as well was we didn't do the flaps. Obviously the flaps need to be set to the up position as well. So there we are, the aircraft has now been started. And one thing you also need to do as well is just for a bit of housekeeping, so make sure your trim wheel is turning, in which ours is. That's all good. So what you now do is we check with the Bristol Airport Information Service, the ATIS, Automatic Terminal Information Service. If you look over here, you can see that I've already programmed 126.025 into the standby comm. So let's set that to active.
Bristol International Information, November 1300 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility 7. Sky clear, temperature 18, dew point -3. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 09.
There you go. So we've now got our automatic terminal information system from the ATIS, and we know that we're going to be taking off on runway 09. So to get going, just going to we've got the beacon on, we've got the nav on. It'd be a good idea to turn the taxi and the landing lights on now. make sure that they're switched on, and release the brakes. Obviously by now you would have got air traffic control clearance, so let's release the brakes and begin our taxi. Now what would also be a good idea at this point would be to set your heading on your autopilot and set your altitude as well. So we're going to be taking off on 09, so by now you would have been given ATC clearance to cross the runway at Bristol, because obviously the Bristol Flying Centre and all general aviation aircraft are parked over on the southern side of the airfield. So there we are, we've just crossed an active runway. I would now be shot because I haven't asked for ATC clearance. So let's now taxi up to the runway. And what you can do whilst you're in your taxi, you can just very quickly scan all your instrumentation to check that you're check your autopilot is set up. Check your radios, all those things. You check all this stuff on the ground even before you begin your taxi. But you know, you check all your radios, check your altimeter, check your autopilot data, all those bits and pieces. Make sure it's all entered into your system correctly. Now you'll notice that I'm currently doing 41 knots, so I'm probably going way too fast at the moment for the taxi. Now because we're only a light aircraft, don't really need any flap, to be honest with you, because the runway is more than sufficient for a little Cessna C172. One little bug with X-Plane is that they always put an aircraft over there on the runway. I don't know quite why they do that, but there you go. A good way to fix that bug temporarily is to go into your X-Plane settings and turn off your AI aircraft. So what we'd do by now is we'd be under air traffic control, and we would be holding short of the runway here. But I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to get on with it. There's the airplane over there that I told you about, the one I don't know why it's there for, to be honest. So there we go, just taxiing onto runway 09. And there we go, so we are now on 09, lined up on the runway. You'd now be calling Bristol Tower on 133.850 and requesting takeoff. You do a quick scan of your instrumentation, make sure you're happy with everything, and then as long as you were, you'd be given clearance. You'd be given clearance to take off, and you'd be then rocketing off down the runway. In fact, let's do that. It doesn't take long to get up to the rotation speed. In fact, we're there now, so let's roll the nose back a little bit, and there we are, we're now in the air. What we can do is we can just trim the aircraft. And we're done. So, I hope you've enjoyed watching this cold and dark start video for the Cessna C172 by Carenado. I've enjoyed making the video, so have a great day and enjoy flying. Thank you.